First of all, thank you for meeting me here. Personally, I really loved SteamWorld Dig. It was a nice surprise because I wasn't expecting it to be so much fun as it was. So I know usually you shouldn't ask this to a creator, but was it as big as a success as you expected originally?
That's a great question, because in the beginning we really didn't know that it was going to catch on at all, because it's usually like that with games. I think that you spend so much time with it the whole time. Like every day you're just thinking about this game, and you're writing code, or you're drawing stuff, or you're writing bits and pieces of the dialogue and the story. That after a while it just gets too close. It's really hard to say if it's bad, or if it's good, or if it's great, or if it's fantastic.
You don't have the distance to
evaluate.
evaluate.
You really don't have it, and you try to you get people who don't know us very well. You get them into the office to test it, and we let them try it, and we sit very silent just to watch their reactions. And so we were done with the development in June of 2013. In March, we had testers come in, and they were really not overwhelmed by the game, right? Because the game wasn't there. There were a lot of mechanics that I can explain later that were not in place in the game, and they were asking, so what do you want me to do next? Now, I really want you to figure out for yourself. And it was such a lame experience, and we were really worried.
Was it because you have too much technique in the game? Because you can't simply dig. You have to think where you want to dig, because you have to recover your water. And do you think it is about it?
No, it wasn't like that at all. It was actually because what we did after that test experience is what we said, okay, nobody can do anything for a week. We have to find what's missing in this game. So at that point, we had the idea that if you could dig straight down in the game, then it would be too simple. The game would be over in 15 minutes. And we thought, we have to make sure that people sort of dig in zigzag patterns and so on. So
because they need to come up.
Yeah, and we didn't have the wall jump in the game yet. And it wasn't fun. It was just being very repetitive and cumbersome. So we sat down and we thought out a few things, like, okay, we have to have the wall jump in the game. Okay, but then how do we make sure that people can't just dig down and fight the end boss and it's over? Okay, well...
By the way, the end boss is kind of hard.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I love difficult games.
Okay, good.
I was like, yeah, some developer that doesn't treat me as
a kid.
An invalid, yeah. So I was happy with that, but that was hard.
Yeah, it is pretty hard. So we decided we have to have wall jump. Let's make the earth harder and harder as you go down. So you have
which is actually real.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's a real thing. Obviously, it's going to be just tougher and tougher. And so, okay, we'll do that. But how should we get people to? How are they going to tackle that? Okay, so we have to upgrade the stuff. Like people must be able to upgrade and so on. And then so for a whole week we were just brainstorming. It's like, okay, let's leave this room. No, it's only Tuesday. We have to really brainstorm this week. And so we came up with basically everything that makes SteamWorld Dig what it is, what it became. And I think it became brilliant in that 1 week. We had worked for so long, but then we just stepped back for a week, and it's like, okay, we have to make all of these things, and it has to fit into the final version.
Do you think you evolved more in a week than in all the creative process?
Yeah, I would say that, because in many ways we also matured as a developer in that week, because it was just before then we were so discouraged by the user tests that we thought, we've made a game, we've spent so much time making this game and it's not fun. What should we do? Should we start making another game? Or should we really try to nail it? And so as a CEO, it can be easy to tell everyone that we're going to take a week now to just desperately try to find something better for this game. But it wasn't actually me. It was the creative team that said, just a week where we do nothing. It's like, if we can't nail it after this week, then drop it. Let's do something else, or let's go bust or something.
It was announced on Nintendo's 2013 lineup, wasn't it? I remember I started bugging the Portuguese Nintendo team because of the game. I can't remember when, but I know I got really annoyed. I annoyed them a lot because of SteamWorld Dig.
Okay, thank you.
First of all, because of the setting. It was really... I think what caught my eye at first glance, it was the setting.
Yeah.
So that steampunkish Android Western was really, really nice for something you have to dig.
Yeah.
Literally dig. So how did you get to the setting? It was something in the beginning of the process of creation, or in the middle?
No, that was actually... I think we have a few things in the office that makes Image Inform great, and I'm being very rude to everyone else at Image Inform, but I think we have a world-class art director and a world-class lead designer, and if those two guys weren't on the team, we would be a dime a dozen developer. So. The art director, he nailed it pretty early, the way he wanted it to look. And
it's pretty unique, actually.
Yeah. And so the idea that, I don't know if you've played a game that we made called SteamWorld Tower Defense. Have you seen that game?
Somebody told me about it because I'm a big fan of steampunk. And that subgenre is actually getting off the light at this moment, but I haven't tried it yet. Actually,
it's a very small game that we made for the DSiWare store, for the Nintendo DSi in 2010, and it was that little game actually gave birth to SteamWorld Dig later on, because we wanted to. The Nintendo DSi had come out, and we thought, there aren't that many games on the DSi. Maybe we can
make something different.
Yeah, and we can get an audience for it. And so we decided that let's make a game for Nintendo DSi. Okay, what type of game should we make? Let's make a tower defense game. Okay, very good.
What was the pinnacle of the genre in the market?
I think it was popular, but there was no tower defense game for the Nintendo DSi.
The desktop defense was before or after your... For the Nintendo DS, I can't remember the release date, but I think it's one of the few tower defense games on the Nintendo DS.
Right, but this was the Nintendo DSi. It was
for the exclusive.
For the store.
DSiWare.
The DSiWare store. So there were no tower defense games. Obviously, we started making the game, and by the time we were finished and it came out, there were like 3 other games.
Yeah,
it's
timing is everything.
But we made that game, and it was humans versus robots. And then at one point, we're playing the game. It's like, yeah, it's pretty good, but wouldn't it be more fun if the robots were the heroes and the humans were the greedy bastards?
Yeah.
We said, yeah, that could be interesting. And then we made that, and then afterwards, when we had put that game out, we were spending a lot of lunch breaks just talking about this. How did this world come about? What must have happened for steam-driven robots to take over the world?
And be the good guys.
Yeah, and be the good guys, and the humans being these ugly lowlifes, right? So we talking about it quite a lot. Like, something must have happened so that just before the start of just before the year 1900 or something, there must have been a world war or something where the humans were just depleted, and they had already invented very simple steam-driven robots. And I could talk for a week about this, but
do you have battery for a week?
Okay, just 2 minutes about this then. So in the early 19th century, in reality, there was a British inventor called Charles Babbage, and he actually invented the first computer in 1820 something, or he designed it at least. He sketched it up, and then he took it to the manufacturer, and they fucked it up. They couldn't build the machine according to his design, so it didn't work. And then later he designed an even more advanced machine, and that was like in the 1850s or 60s. So it's like 100 years before the first actual computer, which was that thing that he designed there, which is called the analysis engine, is what he called it. It actually fulfills every criteria to be classified as a computer. Yes, it does. It has everything you need. It has like looping, it has the conditional statements and everything, and it's all mechanical. And it worked. And it even had a printer, actually. But it was never built. Again, I mean, the Royal British Society, they didn't want to give him the money to actually build this machine, because they had sort of lost faith in him because the first machine didn't work. But they actually...
This guy's crazy.
Yeah, so he's crazy, right? So he didn't get to build it. They actually built... They built a machine in 1999, an exact after his design.
Yes,
and it worked perfectly. The thing is, if he had had this machine in the 1850s, what sort of technology leap would we have seen in real life? So if this machine had been built, you can just imagine that. Because the reason why he wanted to build the machine was there were so many miscalculations everywhere. Everybody was calculating, but human error was so great.
Like in railways, for example?
Yeah, railways, just manufacturing machines and everything. I mean, you can just...
the Industrial Revolution had been a few decades ago, so...
Right, so you have steampunk, right? And if you have this, then maybe you could build calculating machines like that, and then you could make them smaller, and then maybe they could perform really simple tasks like digging, and then they become mobile with the legs, so they can move forward and dig a little bit more, and a little bit more advanced.
But then Skynet would control the world.
Yes, the Skynet takes over. No, but in parallel, obviously, with super calculating machines like that, the weapons industry would have escalated as well.
Yeah.
So there would have been a world war in the late 1800s.
Yeah, before the First World War.
Right. Yeah. So everybody dies because nobody is prepared for it.
But I know in this if world, Russia would enter the world with the Tesla inventions.
No, they couldn't. They weren't allowed.
Why? You think the British Empire...
I made this up!
Sorry for interfering in your made-up world. So, next game for you. Are you going to stick to the Steam
World
theme?
Yes. The next game is going to be a Steam World game. And it's going to be set a little bit into the future compared to Steam World Dig. Somehow that doesn't really matter to the robots because they are not... Obviously they are evolving, but they are very simple creatures still.
And they don't age.
They rust instead.
You have that old cowboy at the village.
Right. Yeah. So the thing is that it's still SteamWorld, and there will be references back to SteamWorld Dig, but it's not at all a digging game. It's a radically different type of gameplay.
It's funny you call it a digging game. Every time I talk about SteamWorld Dig to someone, when someone give me a game to play, and I say, okay, go buy SteamWorld Dig, I really enjoyed it.
Right.
I usually describe it as a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
It feels like a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Was it your intention?
Yeah.
Or what was before that creative week you decided this is going to be a Metroidvania?
I think that during that creative week, we actually put a lot of the Metroidvanian elements into the game with the upgrade loop and so on, the way you upgrade your character. And so that's when it probably became a Metroidvania game. But it didn't make us less happy because we're big Metroid fans.
And you are?
Sorry?
You are a big Metroid fan?
Oh yeah, we are. I mean, it's a milestone, I think, in
Hope
games.
Nintendo is listening to this.
Actually, if Nintendo is listening, they should let us make the next Metroid game. So, and the next game we're making now is much more of a roguelike game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I understand why you're doing this.
You really?
Yeah. If you evaluate the market, you see even in the really small indie share of the market, it's a genre which is rising. I myself, I'm buying almost every single roguelike I'm getting. So I understand, and yeah, I'm anxious to play it. When can I play it?
You can play it. When do you want to play it?
I want to play it.
We are aiming at a release in February 2015.
3DS?
It depends on Nintendo, but we are. I mean, SteamWorld Dig is a multi-platform game.
Yeah.
The big question for us is which is going to be the first platform.
Yeah.
And obviously there are a few platform owners that want the game, but we have a huge following within the Nintendo community, and we really would like to see it work out that way, that it would come to 3DS first.
Your ambience really fits into what Nintendo fans would expect to get. I'm a huge Nintendo player for a long time, and when I saw it on the roster of E3, I felt, okay, this is one of the games I want to put my eye on, because it feels Nintendo-ish.
Right. It's I think Nintendo sticks out that way, where Nintendo is a lot more family friendly, and it feels almost like it's a statement or sort of a manifest with Nintendo that we are not going to make games where you bleed or where the guts fall out. It's not going to be on our machines, or at least it's not going to be like the
main thing.
The main thing, exactly. And we sympathize very strongly with that. We don't want to make bloody games or anything, or games that.
But you grew playing different stuff, so maybe you relate to what you grew up playing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously, I mean, I'm much older than you, so I've been playing all kinds of games, and it's not until just recently where I've always thought that games is a fantastic invention, or computer games as well. And it's just recently where I think that when the cutscenes are more important than the gameplay, something has happened to
the industry.
Yeah, if we think that that's really, really great, then something has shifted, I think, a little bit.
A few months ago, I saw an internet meme that was saying that Nintendo is your childhood friend who still makes you have fun.
Yeah, I would say that, because
You didn't grow up like other people. Okay, now I'm really mature, but you know, if you need fun, you still have that childhood friend
right.
that still hangs out with you.
Yes.
Till now.
And it's always the game, right?
Yeah.
The gameplay itself. I think
You don't have you don't need smoke and mirrors to sell your game.
and you don't need booth babes to sell your game, right?
Yeah. You can have a fat plumber with
Yeah, I
a
was going to
mustache.
say, exactly, with a big red cap.
It's It's actually I have a 1-year-old baby.
Yeah.
His best friend is a Mario plush.
All right.
He needs to sleep with it. He needs to go everywhere with it. Really.
That's wonderful.
When I tried to put him to sleep, he's like something gibberish, baby gibberish, and I was like, okay, it's Mario.
It's a Mario.
I usually say, it's Mario. I usually do it. Since he was born, I did the same. I believe when he
So
grows
he
up,
actually thinks you're called Mario. That's
I think when he grows up, he was gonna, no, father, I hate Mario. I want to play FIFA.
Yeah, exactly. Bring him the FIFA game.
His bedroom is filled with Mario and Pokemon stuff.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's but you're just nailing the truth there. I think it's something that you can still you're always
Relate
going to
to.
be a kid, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it doesn't
I like
go
that.
away. Yeah.
You have kids, you have a wife, you have to work. I think sometimes you want to pick a game and relax
Yeah.
and have fun.
Yeah.
You don't have to think, okay, I'm gonna have to save Syria or the Palestine or go shoot someone. No, I want to have fun.
Right.
I want to dig through rocks and catch jewels.
And you want to do. I mean, I have a lot of kids, so I can't really sit down in front of the TV and play a first-person shooter. Well, for one thing, I don't really enjoy them, but I can't do it. It's and then I can't do that and then tell my kids that now you can't play these games. It's bad for you. So it's I think it's we're very comfortable being a friend of Nintendo. It's where we want to be.
Yeah, we feel that. Do you have time? Okay.
Yeah, you still got about 10 minutes if you have any other questions.
But you're standing there.
That's fine.
Really?
It's my job.
It's professional.
Yeah.
I get a tiny little, Pikmin to carry it instead.
So underrated, that game, Pikmin 3.
It's my favorite Nintendo IP.
Actually, it's off the record. It's my favorite Wii U game till date.
Ah, really?
I said it in an article 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I think everybody miswatches Pikmin. I don't know why. It's really
Such a good game.
it's so intelligent,
Right.
but it doesn't stand out because it's so
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's a brilliant game. When we made the game before SteamWorld did was we were quite successful with an iOS game called Anthill, which is I think you actually enjoy that game as well.
What's the name?
Anthill.
Anthill. Okay.
Yeah. And let's say that we were a little bit inspired by Pikmin. Yeah. So I don't have to say we stole everything from Pikmin, which we actually didn't.
About SteamWorld Dig, do you feel, or do you have the feedback of your players of having the need to do every single upgrade to be some kind of a completionist in the game?
We have we get a lot of feedback, and so we get all kinds. We have like there seems to be like a set of players that are going after the world record, the speed running record, which is beautiful to watch when you see them, because I've never spent less than 3 hours in the game. I've tried to sort of play it as fast as I can, but there's something in
What's
me
the world
that
record?
it's 26 minutes.
Oh,
because there's a sequence break in the beginning of the game. We saw it when we developed. It's like you can actually make a jump. Let's see if I can illustrate this. Like this, okay? There, it's tile based, right?
Yeah.
So you have like a flat wall coming up here, and you're jumping up that wall, and then you're sort of hitting the roof there. If you do it exactly right,
to the left?
Yeah, you jump to the left and do the jump with just perfect timing. We're talking hundredths of a second or something. Then you can actually jump around that. And there are people that go jump there, jump there, jump there, and get up. And then very early in the game, you will arrive at a place that you're not supposed to reach until much later. Actually, one of
the upgrades?
it's one of
those pods?
No, it's actually the thing is that you get up there and you can pick out a diamond, which will give you so much money that you run to the surface and upgrade your pickaxe, and it'll tear like the ground, like it was cotton in the beginning. So you just, and then they have these big discussions of which upgrades do you need. It's like,
do you watch that online?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's remarkable.
Even the discussions.
Yes, yeah, because they do. There's been quite a bit on Twitch where they go through this, and then their speedrunners will be discussing. They will be chatting with each other while they're showing the game. It's like, oh, you're getting that upgrade. That's so lame. You should blah 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 blah. You should do this, and so apparently there is like an optimal way. You don't have to pick. You don't have to get all the upgrades.
And the other kind of players, the ones that went, okay, I'm gonna save diamonds enough to buy this.
Yeah.
It's how I played.
I love that.
I want to buy this. I want to go to the shop, all the shopkeepers and sold.
Yeah.
I want
That's
that.
me.
I love
that's
that.
me too. I'm so anal about that. I think, okay, now I'm going to run through this. I'm just going to pick that little thing there. Oh, there's some more. It's like I'm going to have that. So
I died a lot.
Yeah, I died a lot too. I think I've died.
I didn't get frustrated because I like difficult games.
Right.
But I died a lot.
Yeah.
I died like 4 times in the final boss.
First time, yeah, same for me.
Yeah?
My best run, I think I died around 12 times or something. First time I died 37 times.
I died a lot to boulders. Like, I was walking in a boulder, I dug a hole,
Yeah.
and suddenly I got smashed by a boulder.
Yeah.
I think it's my most frequent death. If that was a perk, most
Yeah,
frequent
we should
death.
have like an achievement for that.
Died 4 times to boulders.
It's one of those things. One of the first games I ever played, arcade games, was Dig Dug. And
Oh, so good.
it was fantastic.
It's so good,
And
so good.
I really wanted to have that in there. It's like we have to have the boulder kill where you're digging under it.
It was so annoying.
Very.
Especially in co-op. When you played that in the NES
Yeah.
and you had the other player playing with you, you were digging and suddenly the other person dug a hole and you got smashed. No.
It's like, oh.
Yeah, it was a good reference actually.
Right.
Awesome reference.